Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a short little knife review / knife overview to show you guys. This is the Artisan Cutlery Tradition V2. It is a budget version of their original Tradition, which was a more expensive titanium frame lock. But yeah, this is a really inexpensive knife, and I do have a point that I want to make about this. I'll make it here pretty quickly. I'm going to link this knife down in the description. It is available. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Let's go ahead and measure this knife. The overall length of the Artisan Cutlery Tradition V2 is 8 inches. This is a full-size knife. Blade length is 3.65 inches, and cutting edge is about 3 1/8. Let's do some size comparisons. Make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel so you don't miss my content, and especially my weekend live stream giveaways. Those are a good time. Up against the 8010 and my own Excalibur custom scales for these, especially for knives like the 8010, not for mine, right? They're down in the description under Original Goat and others. These are big knives, right? This isn't quite the same size, but it is very close, just like a 1/4 inch off. Let's put it up against the Spyderco PM2 and the Spyderco Para 3. It's about almost identical to the PM2. Definitely bigger than the Para 3. Let's put it up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue and the Hogue Deca. How's the action? This is a liner lock flipper. It's got a good detent for flipping, right? Can't come down on it too much, but honestly, even if it had, if it had a weaker detent or it didn't feel quite as good off the thumb studs, probably wouldn't count off too much for it because it's pretty inexpensive. It's in a pretty good spot. Artisan Cutlery's bearings don't always feel the best, same with CJRB, and this is something that I've come to notice as a lot of their competitors have gotten better in terms of fit and finish and pivot action. And Artisan Cutlery, while they're fine, they're just kind of, it works. But if you've got an Artisan Cutlery or CJRB in your hand right now and it's running on bearings, disengage the locking system and do this. Not only can you hear it, you could probably feel it too. I'm not going to complain too much at the price point, but like even their more expensive stuff often has that bumpy lumpiness. Not bad. It's fine. It'll deploy, right? The action's good, disengagement is good, access to lock bar, no double clutch. It's all good, right? Wish they'd improve their bearing action. Let's do carry profile thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. It's pretty thin, thinner than the Para 3. Length and height up against the PM2 and Para 3. This was a pretty easy object to pocket, fairly compact for a full-size knife. And it's also very, very lightweight. Doesn't take up a whole lot more room in the pocket than even the Para 3. Let's measure the blade stock thickness. It's obviously not a super duper thick knife. We are looking at, you'll have to excuse any noises in the background. We're having our carpets cleaned still today. 104 thousandths, definitely on the thinner side. Let's go ahead and weigh it. What are we looking at for materials? We have G10. We have steel liners, which, by the way, are nested. That's nice. And then we have ar-rpm9 for the steel, because that is the only steel, apparently, that Artisan Cutlery is willing to use at this price point. Really wish you guys would spread it out a bit. 3.5 ounces. That's pretty good considering it's a 3.65 inch blade. The balance on it is right behind the pivot. Honestly, it's pretty darn great. Let's do a hardware check real quick, and then we can move into the meat and potatoes. My tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use on this channel. T8 for the pivot, T8 for the body screws, that's awesome, and then T6 for the pocket clip screws, which, by the way, you can take the pocket clip out and mount it to the other side. This is a very straightforward knife, right? It's a very knife-shaped knife. Looks like a pocket knife. Feels like a pocket knife. It's very similar to many pocket knives that we have seen. They're not really doing anything different or spectacular here. It's got good grip. It's got good ergonomics. It's comfortable. Got nice jimping. It's got a little choke-up spot. Thumb studs are out of the cutting path, right? Honestly, got pretty good blade geometry. Nice tip. Got some cool texturing here. The little perimeter milling. They got a little texture pattern in here, almost like a long, perforations. It's nice. It's not too grippy. This is a good tool. It's a good beater tool for sure. ar-rpm9 being a spray form 9CR 18 MOV, or essentially a spray form 440B, which is like AUS-8. Is not the best budget steel, but it's okay. It's all right. Are there better steels at this price point? Oh my God, yes. But will it work, right? Is this like 420J? No, not even close. This is still an acceptable steel. It's just not really competing at the higher end of value. It is the only steel that Artisan Cutlery is willing to use on these budget knives, which I think is fine if one thing was different, and that one thing is price. We will talk about that in just a moment. So, the blade is good, fit and finish is good, cutting bevel, all of that, factory edge is really nice. Not really anything, anything really that we need to over discuss when it comes to the blade. It says Artisan on this side. That has a little code right there, which they need for some reason. And then it says Artisan Cutlery. All of the functional aspects of this knife are present, especially, functional aspects that I expect on a knife under $50. It's all here, right? It feels really good. Wish the bearing action better is all there. We have the lanyard hole, which is there. That's fine. You can use it if you want. Pocket clip. It's not my favorite pocket clip in the whole world, but you know what? It works really, really well. Ambidextrous mounting positions. It is on top of the texturing. However, this is not texturing that is raised from the standard, where the scale starts. It's perforated, which means it's actually riding on top of a smooth surface. So in and out of your pocket, it's actually great. It's not really going to fray up your pants much. It feels pretty darn good, and it looks good too. We have a stop pin located in its traditional position. No shouldering, but it doesn't need it. No blade plate up, down, left to right. No lock stick. No pivot lash. And it's easy to do this. I can just feel it a little bit, I just wish that they would get that pivot action a little smoother. It'd be nice. We have perfect centering and no detent lash. How much does this knife cost? Well, this knife costs $44 and something cents, 25, whatever. It's a $45 knife. Is it competing really hard at $45? Not really, and I'll tell you why. I have been, reviewing budget knives for a long time. I've handled some really, truly exceptional stuff around the $40 mark. And here lately, especially from companies like Migron, I've handled knives like this guy, which is I can't remember. I'll try to put this in the description too. Migron has multiple knives that are made from either G10 or aluminum and D2, which honestly I will take over AR-RPM 9. And in this case, PVD coated for, get ready, $29. Artisan Cutlery, for this knife to be enticing to me, honestly, I would need you guys to compete much closer to this ultra budget territory. I legitimately believe that these knives that you guys are creating with G10 and steel liners and AR-RPM 9, I think you guys can get much closer to ultra budget territory. And honestly, so many other companies are releasing knives in G10 or aluminum or micarta and 14C28N or Nitro V or steels and combinations of materials that people consider superior for the same price or slightly more, and in some cases slightly less. I just don't feel like these knives are really competing all that much. And here's the thing. They're incredibly basic. They're good functional tools, but that's not hard to find anymore. 10 years ago, this would have been, oh my God, this would have been amazing. But it's not 10 years ago. Now this is everywhere. We see this all over the place. This isn't going to be enough anymore. The only way to make this great is to get this stuff priced down here where Migron is kind of like reigning supreme, making insanely high quality knives. I'm just going to say it. I think the overall quality of these Migron knives at this price point, I think they're better. The materials feel better. They look better. The looks and all that's one thing. Yeah, it's a little bit smaller, right? But I think they're fully capable of producing this same knife at this size for right around the same price. They're making an overall better knife, a more desirable product, and they're making it, in this case, for $15 less. Now, $15 on its own, you could say, is not really all that much money, but when you consider the total percentage difference, and you consider the perspective of somebody who is on a budget and trying to maximize the quality and utility of the thing they're buying and minimize the amount of money that they're paying, well, this is going to win 1,000 times out of 1,000 times, right? I think that a lot of these companies have been fully capable of competing in ultra budget territory for a while. And since nobody else was really down there winning everybody over, they just haven't really had to do it. I'm hoping that the presence of Migron and a few other companies will force some of these other companies to start competing down there, because otherwise this is just not only is it boring, but it's just not something that I'm going to recommend. If you're looking at this, boy, I got 100 knives you should be looking at. Seriously. There's so many, right? So this is an okay product. It will definitely function as a tool. It has good fit and finish. It's got reasonable materials, and it's not necessarily priced outside of its it's priced within like the highest range. It's at the highest part of the parameters that I would place it in. So somebody who buys it, I would say, hey, you picked a okay one. You know, like it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It'll function the way as intended. But I mean, I literally have dozens and dozens of knives I would recommend before this guy. So yeah, if you're looking at this or similar knives for 45 bucks, well, I'd say go look at some of Migron stuff. There are affiliate links for this knife in the description, right? A lot of people hear me say stuff like that and they go, oh, he's obviously being paid additional commissions by Migron to get people to No, actually the percentages between the affiliate links between Artisan stuff and Migron stuff, they're the same, right? I get paid if you buy this knife, get paid if you buy this. But honestly, there are tons of companies and knives out there that create similar products that I don't have affiliate products for, and I would still recommend them over this guy because that's just the truth. They're better. I want to see these companies competing at lower price points because they now have somebody to compete with. So this is fine. It's not something I'm going to openly recommend. I will put it in my cheap knives I like playlist because it's not a bad knife and it is way under 75 bucks. So not an aggressive metal complex recommendation, but it's okay. You know, for 45 bucks. That's where I'm going to put it. That's going to be it today, guys. Thank you to Artisan Cutlery for sending this in. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.